Welcome everybody to another episode of Command Combat Battle Reports. We continue the Blood, Guts, and Glory Tank Aces campaign as American and German forces clash in the Lorraine Valley near Ericourt. Both sides are being scored based on how well each individual does in his battles. There's one player for each of the three paths, green, red, and blue. The players are scored individually and as a team. Whichever team scores the most points wins the campaign, and the individual who scores the highest points is the top tank ace. Today's battle is a rematch between the forces at Diallard. My apologies to all you French folks for butchering your word. The commanders are once again Lance and David. Lance had enough experience points from last game to choose a special skill. He chose prior experience, which is appropriate since he's a real-life war veteran. David's tank company consists of 4 Panzer IVs and 2 Panthers. Lance's American forces consist of 6 M4A1 Shermans, and they're led by Creighton Abrams. We know you're not supposed to have a warrior in this campaign, but on this first tier we're using them to see what they can do. So after Abrams' spearhead move, they begin the game like this. If you want to. So David's starting out by moving his Panthers forward, followed by his Panzers. Alright, so he's bogged. One of his Panzers got bogged, but the others are racing forward and meeting the Shermans head on. They fired all their shots, but somehow they missed them. I guess they were just moving too fast. So at the end of the first German turn, they're right there in the Americans' faces and a few of them on the flanks. The Americans counter by rushing forward on all of their flanks. In the center, Lance gets so many of them trying to get a flank shot that they get bunched up right in a row. The rest of them get around the flank of the different tanks. He fires and stuns one of the Panthers. Then he takes out one of the Panzers. He hits and penetrates the tank ace with 2 of his shots. All he needs is one single 3, and he rolls 2-1 snake eyes. The German tank ace is stunned rather than destroyed, but he does take out the other Panzer. Alright, on to David's turn. He's really got a lot to think about here. He moves one of his Panzers up to get another flank shot, and his rear Panzer manages to come unbogged and moves forward. He pulls up his objective card and gets the visit from the general. That's a good card, and we'll see how it comes in handy. He fires and takes out one of the Shermans. Oh, that's true, actually. And fires and takes out the other Sherman. There's only one Sherman left that's in the middle. Okay. So at the end of the turn, the German player has 2 Panzers in the middle with a stunned Panzer. Up near the top, his tank ace is still stunned and can't get moving again. The American starts shifting his tanks and doubling up on the tank ace Panther.
2s or 3s?
3s, okay.
2 hits.
2 hits, alright. He would destroy the tank ace, but David uses the visit from the general and makes him re-roll it, and Herr Gruber survives a little bit longer. Meanwhile, his other Shermans are kind of useless near the bottom. They don't do any damage. Kind of a difficult situation for them. During his turn, Herr Gruber gets control of his tank again. He moves up onto that hill, and he lines up both Shermans into his sights. Meanwhile, one of his Panzers moves into the woods to get a flank shot on the Sherman. The other Panzer stays where it is, so it gets 2 shots, and it takes out that Sherman that was in the center. And the Panther, with a beautiful shot between 2 of those other tanks, manages to miss both of them. That's a couple Sherman tanks that are really sighing with relief. They're going to try to get their own shots by going on each side of them and get them in the crossfire. The other Sherman, meanwhile, is going to ignore the Panzers and go straight for the Panther. It misses its Panther, but the other 2 on the tank ace both hit and destroy him in the crossfire. So this is the table after it. The Sherman near the bottom of the table didn't manage to hit the Panther, so now he's sort of stuck between 2 Panzers. And now it looks like he's stuck between 2 Panzers and the Panther, as the Panther just got control of his tank again. One of the Panzers tries to maneuver around to get a shot at him from the woods, and he gets bogged! That leaves just 1 Panzer and the Panther to shoot at him. And it looks like it was enough, because the Panther blows his top off. The remaining Panzer fires across at the other Shermans and manages to stun one of them. During his Stormtrooper move, he comes out of the woods and starts heading towards the remaining Sherman over there, which just happens to be the American tank ace. The stunned American tank gets back into it and starts heading over towards the Panzer.
He's closer, so he's going to go like this.
Lance's tank ace does the same, gets onto the other side of him, and boom, they blast him from both sides. David moves the Panther over to the Sherman flank. He can practically knock the top off with his barrel.
Alright.
He fires, blasts it to pieces. Now all that's left is the Panther and the American tank ace. Lance has really got his work cut out for him, and David's going to slide up and get ready for the killing blow next turn.
That's your command tank once again.
But Lance backs up, slides up next to the Panther, and fires on his flank. He hits.
One.
The Panther does not make its armor save, and Lance destroys it. The Panther is gone. The Germans still have one Panzer IV still stuck in the woods, but the game comes to a close, leaving it with an American victory. The Americans at last have won a game and get a point, plus they get one bonus point because the American tank ace actually destroyed the German tank ace. The German player got 1 XP for playing, plus he got 3 more XP for destroying several of the American tanks. His German tank ace, however, has not destroyed any American tanks yet, so he doesn't get any points for that. The American player, meanwhile, has gotten XP for winning the game, surviving, for destroying more of the enemy tanks, and for playing. His American tank ace, meanwhile, has also destroyed 3 tanks personally, so he's gotten a whole lot of experience points.
So I started with superior tanks. I thought I was going to win this time because I thought I had some more experience. Did not turn out that way. Ended up with 2 bog tanks and I lost the battle. If he would have had the superior tanks, I surely would have lost.
We survived. The die rolls were really bad against us, but at the end they came through and we got a squeak victory. It's really hard to fight superior tanks, but somehow we managed through. I can't believe I'm still alive. Salute to the Germans.
So that's it. The Americans finally have a victory. Well, that was an exciting game. Join us for more battles by clicking on the part of the screen that you want to watch. Be sure to subscribe to us and watch us at www.commandcombatreports.com. Happy gaming, everybody!